It's just so hard to choose only 3 immune-supporting herbs. We've got so many. But mindful of what we're facing today, I've looked back over my clinic notes and I've chosen the 3 herbs that have appeared most often in my prescriptions over the last 3 months when it comes to immunity. And so join me as I share what's so very special about how these 3 herbs are supporting your immune system. Let's get started, shall we?
Well, hello, beautiful people, and welcome to the Project Joyful podcast. I'm your host, Tracy, your medical herbalist and high performance coach. So, hey, Project Joyful isn't just about being happy. It's about consciously creating a life you love. It's about remembering how to reconnect with your soul-centered joy. You know, that joy that comes from doing what you love, from living on purpose, and from being in a life that allows you to experience deep joy moment by moment. So, hey, let's get started, shall we?
It's so hard to choose just 3 favourites when it comes to herbs that boost immunity. You see, all adaptogen herbs support our immune system. Adaptogens are herbs that help you navigate through stressful times. We also have herbs whose focus is on immune support specifically, and herbs who boost immunity as a byproduct of doing other things. So I'm going to have to preface today's episode with a little du jour. So for today, my 3 herbs for supporting the immune system are cat's claw, angiographis, and echinacea. My runners-up, the lymphatic supporters, calendula and cleavers, and my broad-spectrum wound support, myrrh. But myrrh is so much more than that, but that's for another episode. Anyway, I did say this was going to be hard, didn't I? Okay, let's talk about cat's claw, or Uncaria tomentosa. Cat's claw comes from Central and South America, and it's named because its thorns look like cat's claws. We use the bark. It's most commonly thought of as an anti-inflammatory and an antioxidant, and there's a bunch of research that shows that the glycosides in cat's claw can stop the activation of a number of inflammatory markers in your body, and that it's an important antioxidant because it teams up with these free radicals and calms them down so that they're no longer needing to wander about the place and wreak havoc. The other interesting thing is that its alkaloids can stimulate the production of cytokines. Now, cytokines play a key role in the growth of other immune system cells and in signaling to the immune system that it's time to get to work. So what does the science say about cat's claw? Well, it's found that cat's claw reduces inflammation by reducing tumor necrosis factor alpha, TNFA, nuclear factor kappa beta, and it also blocks an enzyme that's responsible for creating free radicals called INOS, inducible nitric oxide synthase. And it reduces inflammation and pain by blocking the release of COX-1 and the COX-2 pathways. So its immune-boosting activity is thought to be the result of increasing our T helper and our B cells and upregulating the white blood cells, particularly the granulocytes. So when there's an infection and inflammation, granulocytes race to the area and they dump their granules. Let's talk about angiographis, or angiographis paniculata. It hails from India and Sri Lanka, and it's often referred to in traditional texts as the king of the bitters. Yep, it's a pretty bitter herb. It's commonly used in Ayurvedic medicine and in traditional Chinese medicine. It's known for its anti-inflammatory, antiviral, and antioxidant properties. And there are a number of clinical trials supporting its use in fighting upper respiratory tract infections. It's been found to reduce the duration of cough and sore throat. It's a bit of an all-rounder when it comes to immunity, but based on the research you can see why it's one of my favourites for right now. It's antimicrobial against Bacillus subtilis, E. coli, and Pseudomonas aeruginosa. And it's also an antifungal against Candida albicans. So it reduces the release of inflammatory mediators, the NO, the interleukins 1B, interleukin 6, PGE2, TXB2, and it can reduce allergy symptoms by inhibiting LTB4, but it's not an antihistamine in its own right. Animal studies have demonstrated its ability to stimulate the immune system, and laboratory studies have shown that the phytochemical andrographiloside increases human peripheral blood lymphocytes. It's got such a broad action on the immune front. I like to think of angiographis as your herbal ally in the face of an upper respiratory tract infection. And lastly, but by no means least, of course, we have echinacea. We tend to use two types of echinacea in herbal medicine, echinacea angustifolia, or the root or seeds of echinacea purpurea. Now, as well as being the herb that everyone thinks of in relation to immunity, it's also an anti-inflammatory, it's an antioxidant, and it's a pain reliever. And it's also becoming known in the mainstream for its adaptogenic effect, although herbalists have been using it in that regard for quite some time. But of course, it's best known as an antimicrobial, antiviral, immune modulator, meaning it can stimulate or suppress your immune system, a diaphoretic to help you sweat it out, and it also supports the lymphatic system. So it's got multiple actions to support your immune system. It's the glycosides known as the echinacea that are responsible for the telltale tingle on your tongue. If there's no tingle, there's no echinacea, and you need them for its immune function. So choose a different echinacea product if you're wanting that immune support and you're tingle-free. Its ability to strengthen the immune system by activating the neutrophils, the macrophages, the leukocytes, and the natural killer cells make it a great preventative medicine for respiratory infections. It's the one that I take through most of the year. And echinacea is known worldwide as the immune herb, and its reputation is certainly backed by the research. So there you have it. Here are my 3 favourite immune herbs du jour. Now, just because it's natural, it doesn't necessarily mean it's not harmful. If you have existing medical conditions, you're pregnant or lactating ladies, or you're taking medications, speak to your medical herbalist, because we're trained in herb-drug interactions and we have the depth of herbal knowledge to connect you with the herbs that will work best for all that is uniquely, wonderfully you. So there you have it, my 3 favourite herbs du jour when it comes to immunity. Sending you lots of love. Bye for now.
Hey, thanks for listening to today's podcast. Can I ask you a favour? If our conversation spoke to you today, could you please take a moment to leave a 5-star review? Your review will help people discover this podcast, and together we can create a world where there's even more love and more laughter. And if you want to hear more from the Project Joyful podcast, just click the subscribe button. Bye for now.